Okay, let's be honest. There are certain experiences women absolutely love, but so many men never even think to try. Not because they're boring, not because they don't care. Often, they simply don't know. Today, we're talking about 5 positions women quietly wish for, but rarely ask for. And before your mind jumps straight to the bedroom, remember, intimacy isn't just about the physical. It's about feeling seen, heard, and adored. The eye-to-eye position, this one is all about connection, literally being face to face. It could be lying on your sides, facing each other, legs intertwined, talking softly, or simply breathing in sync. Why do women love it? Because our brains are wired to release oxytocin, the bonding hormone. When we engage in eye contact and gentle touch, this position says, I'm here, I'm present, I'm with you. And that's powerful. The wrapped from behind position. Not just the classic spooning you might be picturing, but fully wrapped with arms holding securely around her waist or chest. It's protective, grounding, and deeply reassuring. Psychology tells us that feeling safely enclosed can calm the nervous system, lowering stress hormones, and opening the body to deeper emotional connection. This is the position that makes a woman think, I could stay here forever. The lifted in care position. This isn't about showing off strength. It's about showing devotion. Think of moments when you lift her gently onto a counter or hold her as if she's weightless for a second. Done safely, it communicates, you're precious to me. It triggers feelings of playfulness and trust, blending a little thrill with a lot of tenderness. Many men underestimate how powerful it is to occasionally take charge in such a gentle way. The over the shoulder view position. This one is about letting her feel admired. Whether it's a gentle hug from behind while she's doing something, or a dance move where she spins and leans back into you, the message is, I see you, I appreciate you, and I'm not afraid to show it. Women often crave this because it's subtly sensual without being overwhelming, and it invites confidence in her own body, the heart to back position. This is a slower, more still position. Sitting together with her back to your chest, maybe on the couch, maybe outside under the stars. Your heartbeat becomes the soundtrack she relaxes into. Neurologically, steady rhythmic sensations like a heartbeat can bring deep calm, reducing anxiety and enhancing feelings of safety. It's a reminder that intimacy isn't always about motion. Sometimes the most intimate thing you can do is simply be still together. The lie-to-eye position is more than just a way of lying together. It's a language all on its own, spoken without words, built on presence and emotional connection. Imagine lying on your side, your face is just inches apart, breathing the same rhythm, your hands naturally finding each other. There's no rush, no agenda, just the feeling of existing in the same space, fully seen and fully seeing. Eye contact in this position isn't just glancing, it's holding. And when you hold someone's gaze in such close proximity, the brain does something remarkable. Studies show that prolonged, soft eye contact activates the parasympathetic nervous system, calming your heart rate, easing tension, and allowing vulnerability to surface. This is why so many women crave it, because it opens a door to intimacy that's deeper than words could ever reach. In our busy lives, it's rare to be this close to someone without distraction. We may hug in passing, exchange a quick kiss, or sit side by side scrolling through our phones, but genuine, undivided attention is rare. The eye-to-eye position disrupts that autopilot mode. It's a conscious choice to be present. It says, I'm not looking past you. I'm not thinking about what's next. I'm right here with you. And that simple shift can make someone feel profoundly valued. In relationships, this feeling of being seen is as vital as feeling loved. In fact, for many women, the sense of being deeply seen is what makes them feel most loved. There's also something uniquely balancing about the physical arrangement of this position. Both partners are equal here. Neither is above or below. Neither is in a more dominant stance. You're on the same level, sharing the same space in perfect symmetry. This equality is important because it communicates mutual respect. When you're eye to eye, there's no room for pretense or performance. It's just you, your expressions, your micro smiles, your unspoken emotions. That raw honesty can be a little scary at first, but it's also deeply magnetic. When a woman feels safe enough to let you see her without any shield, she's giving you access to her most authentic self. From a psychological perspective, This closeness taps into the human need for secure attachment. Secure attachment is built when we consistently feel safe, understood, and emotionally attuned to another person. In the eye-to-eye position, your body language does all the work of communicating that attunement. A slight squeeze of her hand, the way your eyes soften when you look at her, the subtle mirroring of her breathing. All of these are cues that say, I'm connected to you right now. Over time, moments like these create an emotional anchor. They become the quiet proof of love, the little snapshots of connection that she will carry with her even in difficult seasons. There's also an element of emotional transparency here. Looking directly into someone's eyes makes it harder to hide what you're feeling. If you're happy, it shows. If you're worried, it shows. And that honesty, when shared in a safe, loving space, builds trust. For women, trust is the foundation of any deep, lasting intimacy. It's not just about trusting that you'll be faithful or keep your word. It's about trusting that you'll be emotionally present when it matters most. Eye-to-eye moments say, you can count on me to meet you here, fully present, whenever you need. And yet, the beauty of this position isn't only in its emotional depth, it's in its simplicity. You don't need candles, music, or elaborate planning to make it special. You could be on the couch on a lazy Sunday afternoon, in bed before falling asleep, or even on a blanket in the park. The magic comes from the choice to face each other without distraction, to listen with your eyes, and to let your presence speak louder than your words. It's worth noting that this position can also reignite emotional closeness in relationships that feel a little distant. Sometimes couples drift into a pattern where physical contact is functional but not emotionally rich. A quick hug, a peck on the cheek, but no true moment of stillness together. Reintroducing eye-to-eye moments can gently break down that distance. It reminds both people of the intimacy that drew them together in the first place. It's like pressing pause on the noise of life and turning the focus back to each other. For many women, what makes this position so treasured is that it blends vulnerability with security. You're exposed. You can't hide your feelings, but you're also held in a space of comfort and safety. It's intimate without needing to be overtly physical, romantic without being performative, and deeply human at its core. This is why so many women silently wish their partners would linger here a little longer. Because in these moments, love feels uncomplicated. It feels like belonging. It feels like home. The wrapped from behind position carries a kind of comfort and intimacy that words can barely capture. It's not just spooning in the casual sense. It's the act of fully wrapping yourself around someone from behind, holding them close enough to feel their breathing, their warmth, and their subtle shifts in posture. For many women, this position feels like a protective shield, a quiet statement that says, I've got you. There's something deeply reassuring about being enveloped in someone's arms, knowing they're strong enough to hold you but gentle enough to do so without pressure. It's a posture of both care and closeness, and it often satisfies a craving that goes far beyond physical touch. It taps into an emotional need to feel safe and cherished. When someone is held from behind, especially in a way that feels intentional and secure, the nervous system responds. The body recognizes the firm yet tender embrace as a signal of safety. This can trigger a release of oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, which not only deepens feelings of connection, but also lowers stress and quiets the mind. In our busy, overstimulated lives, that kind of stillness and reassurance can be rare, which is why this position feels so powerful. It's not a rush. It's an invitation to relax into someone's presence, to let go of tension, and to simply exist together in the same moment. There's also a psychological element to this position that many men underestimate. Being wrapped from behind communicates a subtle but important message. I'm watching over you. It doesn't mean controlling or overpowering. It means offering support without asking for anything in return. The woman in front doesn't have to hold eye contact or maintain a conversation. If she doesn't want to, she can simply rest, knowing she's surrounded by care. This freedom to let her guard down is one of the most intimate gifts you can give in a relationship, because true intimacy isn't always about grand gestures. It's about creating small moments where the other person can fully breathe. For some women, the wrapped from behind position can even bring back the comforting feelings of childhood safety. Being swaddled, held close, and protected from the outside world. While romantic relationships are different from those early experiences, the human brain still responds to the same primal cues of warmth, protection, and security. It's not about dependence, it's about knowing that in a world full of uncertainty, there is at least one place where she can feel completely at ease. This position is also versatile. It can happen lying down in bed as you fall asleep, standing in the kitchen while she's cooking, or even sitting on a couch while watching a movie. The context can change, but the message stays the same. I'm here with you and for you. And unlike some forms of physical closeness that require mutual effort, this one allows her to be passive without guilt. She doesn't have to hold you back or respond in a particular way. She can simply lean into your embrace and receive it. That receiving in itself can be a deeply healing act. From a relational standpoint, wrapped from behind moments often carry an element of quiet romance. They're not as showy as a passionate kiss or as intense as certain forms of physical intimacy, but they linger in the memory because they are so sincere. They happen in unguarded times, when she's making tea in the morning, when you're waiting for dinner to cook, or when you're simply watching the rain. They weave intimacy into everyday life, making it something you live, not just something you visit on special occasions. And because this position naturally brings your heart close to her back, your breathing and heartbeat become something she can feel. This physical rhythm is grounding. It subtly says, we're in sync. Over time, these repeated moments can become a couple's silent ritual, a kind of emotional shorthand that doesn't require words. When you wrap her from behind, you're not just showing affection, you're showing consistency. You're showing that even in the smallest, most ordinary moments, she matters enough to hold on to. Perhaps the most beautiful thing about the wrapped from behind position is how it blends strength with gentleness. It's a reminder that love can be both protective and tender, both strong and soft. For women, this combination is often what creates the deepest trust. Knowing you can be held firmly without being confined, supported without being smothered. It's the reassurance that in this moment, she can be exactly who she is, and you will still choose to hold her close. The lifted in care position is one of those gestures that can take a woman completely by surprise. Not because it's flashy or overly dramatic, but because it's so rare to be physically lifted in a way that feels intentional, safe, and deeply affectionate. This isn't about showing off physical strength just for the sake of it. It's about the unspoken message that comes with it. I've got you, and I'm taking care of you right now. There's a certain magic in being momentarily weightless in someone else's arms, knowing you can completely trust them to hold you without hesitation. For many women, that momentary lift feels like more than just a movement. It's a symbol of being cherished, of being important enough to be handled with both strength and tenderness. From a psychological perspective, the act of lifting someone taps into an instinctive sense of protection. Our bodies respond to being carried or lifted with a rush of reassurance because it signals that the other person is capable of supporting us, literally and figuratively. It's similar to how we might carry someone over a puddle, help them up onto a step, or lift them onto a countertop during a playful kitchen moment. These small but significant acts communicate care without requiring any words. They say, I want to be the one who supports you, even in little ways. That message can be incredibly attractive and emotionally grounding. The key to the lifted in care position is the balance between strength and safety. It's not about overpowering someone or making them feel small. It's about holding them in a way that feels secure, steady, and respectful of their comfort. When a woman feels that her partner is aware of her boundaries, physically attuned to her comfort, and still able to hold her with confidence, it creates a deep trust. That trust is what allows her to lean into the moment and enjoy it fully. She's not thinking about whether you might drop her or if she's too heavy. She's simply present, wrapped in the feeling of being taken care of. This position also tends to carry a sense of playfulness, which is another reason it can be so memorable. It might be part of a fun, spontaneous moment, lifting her just to spin her around in the living room or to get her closer to something she can't reach. Playful moments like these bring a lightness to relationships that keeps them fresh and connected. Even if you've been together for years, these little bursts of energy and affection can spark the same excitement you felt in the early days. In more romantic contexts, the lifted in care position can be a way of expressing passion without a single word. Think about lifting her to sit on a countertop while you talk or make breakfast, holding her so your faces are perfectly aligned, or carrying her over a threshold. Each of these moments blends practicality with intimacy, showing that you're willing to put in the effort to create closeness. It also subtly shifts the dynamic. You're taking the lead in a way that still respects her agency, which can be incredibly appealing. Physically, the sensation of being lifted changes perspective. For just a moment, she's seeing the world from a slightly different angle, and she's doing so from the safety of your arms. That shift in perspective can be symbolic. It's a reminder that love can elevate you, not just emotionally, but in the small, tangible moments of life. It's a kind of romantic metaphor made real through touch and presence. It's also worth mentioning that for many women, the lifted in care position stands out because it's not something that happens every day. In the routine of daily life, physical closeness often takes the form of hugs, hand holding, or sitting together. Being lifted adds a level of novelty that makes the moment more memorable. And because it's relatively uncommon, it becomes something she might think back on later, replaying not just the action, but the way it made her feel. At its core, this position is about the emotional message behind the physical act. It's about saying, I see you, I value you, and I want to hold you up, literally and figuratively. It's a reminder that love can be expressed through movement, through strength that doesn't dominate, but instead uplifts. When done with care, it leaves a lasting impression, not because of the lift itself, but because of the feeling it creates, the feeling of being safe, supported, and treasured in someone else's arms.